Hey, what's up guys, MacH here and welcome to my 1 to 99 farming guide on the 07 Runescape servers. There's a ton of information about pretty much everything you'll ever need to know about the farming skill in this video, so be sure to use the menu bars to get to the areas of the video where you think you need to be. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, please do not leave any likes or comments. So this is our menu screen. Feel free to come back to this point of the video at any point to navigate somewhere else. The first menu screen is basics, the second is patched locations, the third is the 1 to 99 farming guide, the fourth is miscellaneous, the fifth is frequently asked questions, and the sixth is farm run demos. So the basics of farming are planting seeds and waiting for your crops to grow and then harvesting them and repeating that. Now, the first thing you need to do is obtain seeds. There are a number of ways to obtain them. You can buy basic seeds from Olivia and Drainer Village Square. You can pickpocket seeds from Martin the Master Gardener in Drainer Village Square or Master Farmer in Ardoyne. There's a 38 thieving requirement for this. You can also steal seeds from the seed stall in Draenor at 27 thieving. You can buy seeds from the Grand Exchange or from other players. So once you get your hands on some seeds, the next thing we're going to want to go do is buy farming tools. These tools are needed to both harvest and plant crops. So we're going to want to go to Draenor Farming Store and trade Sarah and buy two of the following: a rake, seed dibber, spade, trowel, watering can, secateurs. You're also going to want to buy some compost. I would highly recommend buying the super compost and the Grand Exchange, but just starting out you can get away with compost. And then we're going to want to head west to the sink and fill up our watering can. The watering can is useful because after you plant crops you're going to need to water them, and this is where this comes in. So once you buy your tools, you're going to want to go a little bit northeast and you're going to want to trade the tool leprechaun and give him one of each item. This is useful in case you ever forget one of your items in the bank. You don't have to go all the way back to the bank. They're surrounding just about every patch in RuneScape. Aside from holding tools, they can also hold compost, and they're also useful for noting crops. There are a lot of different ways to level farming. These include allotments, flowers, herbs, bushes, hops, trees, fruit trees, and special. We're going to get to all of these a little bit later. So once you plant your crops, they go through what is known as a farm cycle. There are a different number of farm cycles that each crop goes through. They typically go through between 4 and 12 farm cycles. Now during these farm cycles, there are three things that can happen. What we want to happen is for them to grow. However, sometimes they become diseased, and eventually if you do not cure that disease, after one more farm cycle they die. Now to prevent death, we want to cure that disease, and there are a couple ways you can do that. For herbs and allotments to cure disease, you're going to need to use a plant cure, which you can buy from the farm store. And with trees and fruit trees, you're going to want to use your secateurs to prune off the diseased leaves, and this will not advance the farm cycle, but it will also not have your crops die. Each crop varies on the number of cycles as well as the number of growth stages that they have. For allotments, there's typically between 4 and 8 cycles with 10 minutes per growth stage, giving a total time of between 40 and 80 minutes. For flowers, there's 4 cycles, 5 minutes per stage, total time 20 minutes. For herbs, there's 4 cycles, 20 minutes per stage, given a total time of 80 minutes. For bushes, there's between 5 and 8 cycles, 20 minutes per stage, anywhere between 100 and 160 minutes. For hops, there's 4 to 8 cycles, 10 minutes per stage, giving a total time of 40 to 80 minutes. For trees, there's 4 to 12 cycles, 40 minutes per stage, giving a total time of between 160 and 480 minutes to grow. And for fruit trees, there are 6 cycles, 160 minutes per stage, giving a total of 960 minutes to grow. To plant allotments, herbs, flowers, bushes, and hops, the first thing you're going to want to do is rake the weeds. Then you're going to want to use the fertile soil spell on the lunar spellbook, or use compost or super compost on the soil. You're going to want to plant your seeds, and then you're going to water the seeds. Now herb patches do not need any watering, and if you have flowers down, then you don't need to water your allotment if you have the correct flower down to protect that crop from disease. For trees and fruit trees, the first thing you're going to want to do, with a trowel in your inventory, you're going to want to use the tree and fruit tree on the plant pot. The next thing you're going to want to do is use the humidify spell to water them. Alternatively, you can use a watering can on each individual seedling, but this takes forever to fill up both your cans and to water each individual one. After watering the seedling once, you're going to want to wait about 5 minutes for it to turn into a sapling. Then you're going to want to use your fertile soil spell or compost or super compost on your soil, and then use the sapling on that tree or fruit tree patch. To harvest your crops, you're going to want to click on the crops once they're done growing. Make sure you have a spade in your inventory, and if you have magic secateurs, equip them to harvest more crops. Only have them equipped when you're harvesting your allotments and your herbs, as all other patches will have no effect using your magic secateurs. Once you've harvested your crops, use them on the tool leprechaun to note them and to also save inventory space. For your gear setup, I recommend a mud battle staff. This gives you unlimited earth and water runes. Your earth runes are used when you use the fertile soil spell. This is your super compost. And the water runes can be used if you do not have an Arctic Cloak 4. You are using your water runes when you're teleporting to the fishing guild. This is the closest spot to your Arty allotments. Now, if you do have an Arctic Cloak 4, you're going to want to equip that. If not, use the spout of your cape. You're also going to want to use an explorer's ring if you have it. If not, you can substitute it for a dual ring. This is nice for a quick teleport to the bank. You're going to want to use a graceful top and bottom and hood. You can use graceful boots or boots of lightness, graceful gloves or penance gloves, and amulet of glory charged. Now we need to take a look at all the different patch locations. The first patch locations we're going to be looking at are allotments. There's 5 different locations for allotments. I included Harmony Island, but people rarely ever use it because there's only one patch, and furthermore, zombies attack you and it's kind of a pain. The 4 that people typically use are Doin, Draenor, Catherby, and Canifis. For Doin, the best way to access it is using the Arctic Cloak. For Draenor, the best way to access the patch is using your Explorer's Ring. For Catherby, the best way to access the patch is using the Catherby Teleport, using your Lunar Spellbook, and the best way to access Canifis is using your Ectophile. There are 4 flower locations. Those are Doin, Draenor, Catherby, and Canifis. Unlike other crops where you want to continually plant and harvest, for flowers you just want to kind of leave them there. Flowers are used to prevent disease on your allotments, as we'll get to a little bit later on, but for the sake of this part of the video, these are your locations. There are 6 herb locations. These are all the same as your allotment locations with the addition to a troll stronghold location. The best way to get to Troll Stronghold is to use the Trollheim Teleport, run down the mountain, and a little bit to the northwest. If you can use the agility shortcut, by all means use it. You'll save about 20 seconds. If not, just run through the cave and up the ladder. With the Harmony Island location, you must have completed the Mortania Elite Diaries to use this. There are 4 bush locations: Varrock, Ardoin, Remington, and Esoteria. For Varrock, you're going to want to use a combat bracelet, and you're going to want to teleport to the Champions Guild. For Ardoin, you're going to want to use the Arty Cloak and teleport to the Monastery. For Remington, you're going to want to use a Remington tab. To get a Remington tab, you're going to want to use a Scroll Redirection, which is a reward from Nightmare Zone, with a House Teleport tab. And with Esoteria, you're going to want to use a Spirit Tree patch to the east if you are level 83 plus farming. If not, you can use a Ring of Wealth to Miscellaneous and then run east. Hops are the only type of farming that I don't do, but for the sake of this video and for the sake of you guys, I'm going to show you the 4 locations anyway. The first reason why I don't do hops is because one of the patch locations is in Entrana, and I have to bank some of my gear to access this. The second reason why I don't do hops is because the experience doing them really isn't anything to write a book about. However, the 4 locations are Lumbridge, Sears Village, Entrana, and Yanile. The best way to get to the Lumbridge hops patch is to use the Lumbie tab. The best way to get to the Sears Village one is to use the Camelot tab. The best way to get to the Entrana one is to use a hot air balloon, and you're going to want to use 1 normal log. You also have to complete the quest Enlightened Journey, and the best way to access the Yanile hops patch is to use the Watchtower teleport. There are 5 tree locations, and you're going to want to do them in this order. The first one is Lumbridge. You're going to want to teleport to Lumbie and then run through the back door of the castle. The second one is Varrock. You're going to want to use a Varrock tab and head northeast. The third one is Faldor. You're going to want to use a Ring of Wealth. You're going to teleport to Faldor Garden. The fourth one is Taverley. You're going to want to use a Taverley tab. To get a Taverley tab, you're going to want to use a Scroll Redirection on a House Teleport tab. and then the 5th one is Tree Gnome Stronghold. You're going to want to use the Slayer Ring. There are 5 fruit tree locations: Tree Gnome Stronghold, Tree Gnome Village, Flatya, Catherby, and Brimhaven. For the Tree Gnome Stronghold location, you're going to want to teleport to the Slayer Cave using your Slayer Ring, and then you're going to want to head northeast. For the Tree Gnome Village location, you're going to want to head west of the Tree Gnome Stronghold location, and you're going to want to take the Spirit Tree. Once you use the Spirit Tree, you're going to want to go to Tree Gnome Village and head south, and then you're going to want to use Alkoi to travel through the maze, and then the location is right there. For Letya, you're going to want to use an Elf Crystal. For Catherby, you're going to want to use a Catherby Teleport. And for Brimhaven, you're going to want to use a House tab. You're going to want to have your house location in Brimhaven. There is only one Calcat Tree location, and that is in Karajima. The best way to get there is to use the Taiva 1 teleport, which will teleport you just south of the patch. However, if you don't want to spend 5k on the teleport, you can teleport to your house in Brimhaven and then run southeast from there. There are 3 Spirit Tree locations: Draenor, Brimhaven, and Esseteria. The best way to get to the Draenor location is to use the Explorer's Ring. The best way to get to the Brimhaven location is to use the House tab. And the best way to get to the Esseteria location is to use a Ring of Wealth to Miscellaneous and run east. So now it's time to start the guide. We're going to talk about the most efficient way to 99 first. And the most efficient way to 99 is doing the 5 tree locations, the 5 fruit tree locations, and the 1 Calcat tree location. So for the most efficient way to 99, we're going to start our talks by talking about trees. Before I begin though, I want to say you should do Fairy Tale Part 1. This will get you from level 1 to 17 farming. This is the most efficient way to start farming. After that, you're going to want to do oak trees to level 30. Now the reason why oak trees don't have their GP per experience next to them as with Calcats is this is just simply too low and there's no point of even putting it there. From level 30 to 45 you're going to want to do willows, and this is negative 6 GP per experience. From level 45 to 60 you're going to want to do maples, and this is negative 12.3 GP per experience. From level 60 to 75 you're going to want to do yew seeds. This is negative 9.5 GP per experience. And from level 75 to 99 you're going to want to do magics, and this is negative 5.3 GP per experience. Now when you get to level 72 you also want to incorporate the 1 Calcat tree location, and you're going to want to do this all the way to 99 as well. You're also going to want to do fruit trees for the most efficient way to 99. You can start these at level 27. So from level 27 to 33 you're going to want to do apple. From level 33 to 39 you're going to want to do banana. From level 39 to 42 orange. From level 42 to 51 curry. Now all these don't have your GP per experience because it's simply so low there's no point of even putting it. Now from level 51 to 57 you're going to want to do pineapple, and this is negative 1.52 GP per experience. From level 57 to 68 you're going to want to do papaya. That's negative 0.90 GP per experience. And from level 68 to 99 you're going to do palms, and this is negative 2.5 GP per experience. And now I want to talk about the more in-depth guide from levels 1 to 99 farming, and this includes allotments, herbs, bushes, trees, and fruit trees. So we're going to first start by talking about allotments. From levels 1 to 5 you're going to want to do potatoes, level 5 to 7 onion, level 7 to 12 cabbage, level 12 to 20 tomato, level 20 to 31 sweet corn, level 31 to 48 strawberries, and from levels 48 to 99 you're going to want to do watermelon. Now the nice thing about allotments is you can use flowers to protect them. Using flowers you can save compost because you don't even have to use it, as well as you don't have to waste time watering the crops as well. Now at level 2 you're going to want to plant marigolds, and this is going to protect your tomatoes, your onions, and your potatoes. From level 23 to 48 you're going to want to plant a scarecrow, and this will protect your sweet corn. And from level 48 to 99 you're going to want to plant nasturtiums, and this will protect your watermelon from disease. Next we're going to talk about herbs. Now the only 3 herbs that I recommend farming are Rainar weeds, snapdragons, and toadstools. From level 32 to 62 we're doing the Rainar weeds, and this is going to yield 18k per patch, and it's also going to give you 234.4 experience. From level 62 to 85 you're going to do snapdragons, and this is going to give you 15.8k profit per patch and 757.3 experience. And from level 85 to 99 you're going to do toadstools. This will give you 13.6k profit per patch, and it also is going to give you 1726.1 experience per patch. These figures are based off the average of 6.8 herbs per patch. This is the average using magic secateurs and super compost, and the 6.8 herbs per patch does account for the death of herbs. Next, we're going to talk about bushes. There's only two types of crops that I recommend, and those are white berries and poison ivy berries. From level 59 to 70, you're doing white berries, and that's 4k profit per patch, and that also gives you 631.5 XP. At level 70 to 99, you're doing poison ivy berries. This will yield 5.7k profit per patch and give you 975 XP per patch as well. These figures are based off of 4 berries per patch, which is always a number you're going to receive, and these figures are also based on 100% success rate because bushes almost never die. Next, we're going to talk about trees. Now, if you already heard me lecture about trees and the most efficient way to 99, you can just skip these next two parts. But to repeat myself, from level 15 to 30, you're doing oak trees. Now, the reason why there is no GP per XP under oak and Calcat is because these numbers are simply too low. From level 30 to 45, we're doing willow, and that's negative 6 GP per XP. From 45 to 60, we're doing maple, and that's negative 12.3 GP per experience. From 60 to 75, we're doing yew, that's negative 9.5 GP per XP. From 75 to 99, we're doing magic, and that's negative 5.3 GP per experience. And at level 72, you're also going to want to start doing Calcat trees, and you're going to do these all the way to 99. To repeat myself once more, with the fruit trees, from level 27 to 33, we're doing apple, 33 to 39, banana, 39 to 42, orange, 42 to 51, curry. Now, these don't have GP per experience because these numbers are simply too low. From level 51 to 57, we're doing pineapple, and this is negative 1.25 GP per experience. From 57 to 68, we're doing papaya. This is negative 0.90 GP per experience. And from level 68 to 99, we're going to do palm. This is negative 2.5 GP per experience. So now I want to talk about some miscellaneous stuff. The first thing we're going to talk about is making compost. Now, near each allotment, there are actually compost bins where you can put different types of crops in the bins to make compost or super compost. You need to put 15 of a specific type of crop in the storage bin to fill it, and then you're going to want to shut the bin and wait around an hour for it to make your compost or super compost. Now, depending on what you put in, you can get either compost or super compost like I mentioned. If you put weeds and sweet corn in, you're going to get compost. If you put pineapples and watermelons in, you're going to get super compost. Now, there are actually other things that you can put in as well to get either compost or super compost, but these are the best GP per item to put in. So now I want to talk about how to make saplings quickly. Now, before an update about a year ago, you had to use a watering can on each individual seedling, and then this would eventually turn into a sapling as you still know today. However, there's a much quicker way you can do it. If you put your seed in the lower right hand corner and then you just kind of click one up and back to that seed like I just did, you can make the seedlings very quickly, and then you're just going to want to use the spell humidify. And humidify will save you from having to continually fill up your watering cans, etc. Now, one of the most important aspects of farm runs is to actually time them correctly. Now, there are two different programs that you can use besides just writing it down on a piece of paper. The first one is Indecent Code, and this is free. All you'd go to is indecentcode.com, go to Tools, and then Farm Tool, and this will tell you exactly when each type of crop grows. The second is RS Buddy. You have to download the old school Runescape client, and then there's actually a farming plugin. I think you have to have Pro for this feature, but nevertheless, it's still a very nice feature to use. Now, with farm runs, as I mentioned before, timing them is so crucial. For example, if you time your tree runs correctly for magic trees, you can actually do 3 in a 24-hour span. However, if you're not timing them correctly, you're only going to be able to do 2. And if you do the math, this is actually an extra 420k experience per week, timing them correctly, so this definitely adds up. Now, if you're a really advanced farmer and you take farming serious and you want to get that extra experience a week, you can actually get about 180k extra experience per week doing spirit trees. Now, spirit seeds are kind of hard to get. There's a couple ways you can get them. The first way is by checking nests. The best way to get nests is through Miscellaneous Kingdom. You're going to want to put on 100% wood, and you should get about 7.9 nests per day, which equates to about one spirit tree seed every 12 or 13 days, because the chance of getting a spirit tree seed from a nest is about 1 in 100. Now, the other way to get spirit seeds is through Zalra, and the chance of getting these is 1 in 256. So now I want to go over a few frequently asked questions. The first question regards payment. Should I pay farmers to protect my crops? Now, the answer is generally no, but you should do the math and double check. This is an example I'm going to use as far as using payment for magic trees. So trees have a 12.5% chance of dying with super compost if you do not protect them, and the cost of a magic tree seed currently is about 74k. The protection plan for a farmer is 25 coconuts, and they are 875 each, so 875 times 25 is about 21,875 GP. Now, if you do the math and you times 74,000 by 12.5%, this is going to give you 9,250 GP. So, in essence, the cost to protection needs to be less than 9,250 GP to be worth it. And the current cost is, as I mentioned before, 21,875. So, in this instance, you're not going to want to protect. So a lot of people ask what quest you need to use the 5th herb patch in Troll Stronghold. And the answer to this is My Arm's Big Adventure. I'm just going to put this here again, just in case you just skipped ahead to this portion and you did not hear me say this earlier. So to use the 5th herb patch, you need to do My Arm's Big Adventure. Now the last question I see a lot is how much does it cost for 99 farming? Now it generally costs anywhere between 50 and 60 mil, depending on the methods you use. If you're using more trees, then it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but if you're kind of balancing that out with your allotments and your herbs, obviously you're going to get money back with your herbs. But even if you're using calcets and palm trees are like 30k each, and then calcets are like less than 1k each. So all that stuff adds up. So if you're going for 99 farming and you want to do it efficiently, make sure you're still doing your palms and your calcets. And if you're doing inefficient, then use the herbs, the allotments, and the bushes, and you're going to make a lot of money back off of your herbs and your bushes.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you,
So this completes my 1 to 99 farming guide on the 07 RuneScape servers. Let's shoot for maybe 3 likes and 5 subscriptions, and we'll see you guys next time.